It's been more than a year since UnitedHealthcare CEO Brian Thompson was gunned down on the streets of Manhattan. Luigi Mangione is the man charged with his murder, spending the day inside court today, listening to officers recounting his arrest. Mangione's lawyers are fighting to keep his backpack and its contents out of evidence in the trial. They say it was searched without a warrant. His team also saying his Fourth Amendment rights were violated. Scripps News national correspondent Alex Miller is live outside the courtroom in New York City. And Alex, this is the second day in a row that just one witness took the stand, this time Officer Thomas Fry. What type of insight did he provide?
Yeah, Del, the judge just telling both sides that they need to speed it up, that this is not the official trial, but they certainly have been treating it like it is. Trying to build a case to explain why they felt that Luigi Mangione's backpack needed to be searched that day. That's why we have seen the body camera over and over again. Today, again, we watched more body camera footage, this time from the perspective of Thomas Fry. He's a 26-year-old, two-year veteran of the force, and he was one of two officers first to arrive on the scene at the McDonald's that morning. He is the one who really paid closest attention to Luigi Mangione as the other officers were running his fake ID. And he's one of the people who had a really small conversation with him. He also told us that over to the police department that Mangione asked the officers their names, and he apologized for any inconvenience he may have caused. And today we saw much more detailed footage of what happened when Luigi Mangione went into that precinct. He was strip searched. He was in a search, one that required the approval of a supervisor than they typically do. Fry just a couple of minutes ago saying that it was abnormal for it to be that detailed of a search. The video was blurred, but we saw Luigi Mangione taking off parts of his clothes because only one layer of clothing is allowed for somebody who has been arrested. He was wearing long johns, so he needed to take those off and put his jeans back on. He also handed over a necklace that he was wearing that had a USB device. Respectful to the officers as they were asking him many questions about his address, his work history. They also asked him for his emergency contact. He didn't want to give one at first, ended up giving his mother's name. Now, we saw a couple of days ago a folded up piece of paper taken out of Mangione's pocket at the McDonald's. We didn't know what that was, but today we saw an image of what it is. It is a to-do list that he had from the day prior, where he said that he went to Best Buy, where he purchased USBs as well as a digital camera, and his plans for the future. He was planning to have an intel check. He was planning to make a survival kit, and he had a long list of things that he needed to buy, like water bottles, trash bags, batteries, more masks. Gives you a little bit of a window into really what he was dealing with as he was being arrested. He also had a bus ticket on his body when they went to search him that he purchased on the day of the shooting under the name Sam Dawson, from Philadelphia to Pittsburgh. So again, piecing together the timeline here. But one thing that the defense is trying to outline right now is the officers said they searched the backpack because they wanted to do so for their safety. So when we heard from the defense today, they really drove home the point that these officers really didn't believe that they were in any sort of danger, asking Fry directly if there was anything Mangione had done while he was in his custody, eating his breakfast, wiping off his mouth, that made him feel unsafe. And the officer said, no, I didn't feel unsafe during these moments. Nothing made him nervous. And so when they also asked how many officers ended up showing up to the scene, we learned that there were 13 officers, Del, who showed up to the scene that morning. Only 30 officers in total were on duty that morning. And so there's a question of why did so many people need to be there that morning if their safety really wasn't in danger.
Scripps News national correspondent Alex Miller live for us in New York City today. Alex, we thank you very much.